Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Leo energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row's going to be a more high vibrational Leo energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Leo energy. And it could be that just some people are battling within themselves. We have free will. We have to make choices in life. Are we going to keep living the life we've been living? Is it causing us problems? Would we like to live our life differently? And we have to debate and argue within ourselves to make a decision to either go this way or go that way. And we can all be tempted to repeat an old pattern because it's in our comfort zone. And we have fear and insecurity about moving forward in life differently. Maybe we'd have to heal or grow or mature ourselves or just face our fears. And we're all ready to do that at different times in life. So there could be some people right now that are moving forward in a more emotionally mature, life's about learning lessons differently than they were before. And when they move forward in life differently, there might be some people in their life that won't be moving forward with them in that way because, life's about learning lessons, facing your fears, and some people are happy living their life the way they live it. And that's fine. Everybody has the free will to live their life the way they want to live it. We just need to see the truth of it. If it's more of a romantic relationship, but even if it's a friendship or a workplace, if we feel that people haven't learned some lessons in life of how to play nicely with others, shadowy Leo that people can harness, regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are, we all harness all the different traits of the characteristics of the zodiac signs, either in a high vibe, a more worldly focused way, or a more shadowy way. And if you're someone who harnesses high vibe Leo energy, you're kind of have learned to be more authentically yourself instead of wearing like a false mask and kind of caught up in the things of the world and your ego and loving and warm and nurturing and supportive and have hope and faith and belief in love. And some other people might not want to do love at all. They can get hurt doing love. They could be in their defensive, egoic Leo energy. I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing that. They could be focused on their career. They could make always things about the world more important or themselves more important. Maybe always someone who likes to try to use their emotions or their sexuality or their resources to manipulate people. And that's how they operate in the world. And we just need to see the truth of it. Because the truth sets us free. If you harness high vibe Leo energy, you'd probably want to be in a relationship with people who harness high vibe Leo energy. So, the reason for the top rose reading is the Nine of Swords, which is Gemini energy, which is about which aspect of my dualistic nature am I going to align with. It might have caused some people a lot of stress and anxiety, but they chose love. It's also the reason why the reading came out, and they might know some people who are really stressed about love. We're either up in our head about the truth. There's a maximum of 10 in every suit. This is the 9. Are we willing to work through that last truth that it's supposed to be about love? And loving myself and offering myself compassion and forgiveness, offering compassion and forgiveness to other people, and to keep moving forward in hope and faith and belief and love. And some people just couldn't get past that last thing. And the reason for the bottom rose reading is the Nine of Wands, which can be, I'm defensive, and it can also talk about having been wounded. We've all been wounded before, and sometimes we haven't learned to stand up for ourselves. And the Nine of Wands is Sagittarius energy, which is about higher learning and education. We haven't learned to kind of wrap our brain around this game of life and to see that not everybody's the same. Not everybody's going to hurt us. Not everybody has ill intentions. But some people are still wounded and they're not ready to move forward in a more authentic, loving way. Or maybe just haven't learned to love themselves. Shadowy Nine of Wands, Sagittarius can be, people are still kind of immature. And they want to indulge themselves in these things of the world or be more about themselves. And we just need to see the truth of that. So let's go look at the top row first. We have the Two of Cups, the Devil, the Three of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Leo card of the Six of Wands. From the 2 to the 3 of Cups, like operating from a foundation of love, we have to overcome the devil, our own shadow nature. I've got to offer love to my shadow nature so that I can work cooperatively from love in the world. Some people don't want to even acknowledge they have a shadow nature, just completely ignore it. No, 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 I'm not going to face the truth that I've got a shadow nature. Our shadow natures are more prideful, egotistical, immature, indulgent, petty, envious, jealous, lazy, insecure, blah, blah, blah nature. Well, if we don't learn to offer love to ourselves and accept that we even have a shadow nature, we're just shadowy energies about living in denial of the truth. High vibe people realize I need to learn to love myself. I do have these fears and these insecurities and these self limiting beliefs, and I need to offer love to it. Love to myself so I can free myself from all these things that manipulate me. I want to operate from a foundation of love instead of fear and insecurity and pride and ego and immaturity, so that my more hopeful, believing, loving nature can go out in the world and play and move forward victoriously, being inspired by truth and love and having learned to love myself. So I appreciate what I bring to the table, and I'm going to treat people the way I like to be treated, and I'm going to offer people love and truth and inspiration. And if other people don't like it, I don't know why they wouldn't, but there's a lot of people who won't because they have all these things that manipulate them, and they don't like it when other people have freed themselves from the things that are still manipulate them. Why are you more bold and brave and confident? Why aren't you being petty and envious and jealous and manipulative and prideful and egotistical and immature like me? It's like, because I freed myself from those things that manipulated me. And now I'm moving on. And I'm offering love to other people in my life to encourage them, but the Page of Cups can be like, I'm not going to get in a relationship with you or date you or marry you. I'm going to offer people in the world peace and love and joy and encouragement. They have to make that decision themselves to overcome their own ego nature, fearful nature, prideful nature, insecure nature. And until they do, that's all I'm offering them is a simple Page of Cups, a small gesture. I could see them every day and I could offer them a small gesture of love and encouragement. Am I going to move forward with you and date you and get in a relationship with you and marry you? No. Because we need to be on the same page. I need you to be out. You need to be free of these things. At every stage of life, we've learned lessons in life, right? I only am going to move forward with people who've learned some of the same lessons I've learned about tempering their ego, tempering their fear, tempering their selfish nature, their prideful nature, their lustful nature, their self-pity nature, their self-consumed nature, their bossy controlling nature, whatever their issue is. Until you have freed yourself, I'm going to keep moving forward, staying focused on truth and love. And if you free yourself from those things and you want to move forward with me in this way, I will listen to my intuition to see if I think you really have freed yourself from those things, because I don't want to repeat some kind of pattern of a relationship dynamic that I've already been in. I've already learned these lessons from my own life and from other people I've been in a relationship with. I want to move forward with people who harness who have learned to love themselves, who are operating, making in their Gemini energy that free will choice. I choose to have hope and faith and belief and love. Because shadowy Gemini is a dualistic sign, and it is about what we love and what foundation we want to operate from, that we believe we can manifest our dreams from. If you're still about defensiveness and yourself and ego and the world is the deciding factor in your life, then I'm moving on, because we don't operate from the same foundation. I'm operating from truth and love and authenticity and hope and faith and belief in my dreams. Yes, I put in work and effort to have stability and security in my life, but that's not the end all be all in my life. Is that what's the end all be all in your life? Then we operate from different foundations. I'm operating from a foundation of love. And there could be people, as some people are moving forward in life, we can't get away from our own shadow nature. So we need to constantly be offering love to our own shadowy nature. It's kind of like our loving nature is in the driver's seat of our life, and our shadow nature has to sit in the back seat. And we temper it. You know, our shadow nature's like, but I want what I want, and we should go do this, and we should go do that. And it's like, calm down. You know, we are going to move forward inspired by truth and love and take action in truth and love, because we've already found out that when we don't and we take more immature action in our life out of fear and insecurity and pride and ego, we get in relationships with people who are happy that we live our life that way, because that's probably how they live their life. And we want to move forward with people who are also inspired by truth and love. So calm down. We are going to move forward to accomplish the things that we want in the world, but we're going to do it in this just and fair and loving way within ourselves and with people outside of ourselves. And we're only going to move forward with people who are on that same page as us. And yes, some people might be kind of stressed. Is my dream going to come into reality? Well, I believe life is about manifesting our dreams into reality. And I think if we keep moving forward in truth and love, and life is about learning lessons, and if we've learned this past lesson, I don't want to live my life like that anymore, I have good boundaries up to living my life like that anymore, then I think the next lesson has to appear. Because if life's about learning lessons, if we're not repeating these old patterns and we're moving forward in life differently, then the next lesson has to present itself, you know? And part of that, a big part of that next lesson is just about loving ourselves, getting out of our ego, being more authentically ourselves, learning how to enjoy our life and the people in our life, even if we don't have some of those things of the world that we would like to be involved in, you know, and we wait until the things that we would like to invest in are on the same page as us. And then, you know, because high vibe energies, self-discipline, being patient, all those good things. So they stay focused on truth and love. Now, there could always be a part of us that's like, maybe I should go back and live life the way I do it. You know, and then I don't have to really focus on loving and believing myself in my Gemini energy of the Eight of Swords. I could go back and do life the way I've been doing it, which is what some people are doing and have been doing, and we've all repeated patterns, because we'll all repeat a pattern until we kind of get tired of it. Something about it starts to get us up in our head. We're starting to feel defensive. Because if we keep living life at a certain stage of life, even though our intuition and things in our life are kind of showing us it's time to move on, just like we did age 15 to age 18 to age 21 to age 25. You know, if we keep trying to stay at a certain age group and we're not facing our fears and insecurities, we can kind of know that it's because of our fears and insecurities and stuff like that that's holding us back. And we don't like those things, kind of just knowing that. Like, why do I keep defending being in a mental prison about loving and believing in myself to move forward in life and be more like an 18-year-old? And now it's time to be more like a 21-year-old and more like a 25-year-old. You know, why am I not moving forward? I don't like feeling that I let my fear and my insecurity and all these things kind of manipulate me, and it kind of gets worse and worse and worse until people are kind of motivated to figure out why. And that can be why some people end up moving forward in life differently. Some people just keep ignoring it. No, 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 I refuse. I want to keep living my life like this. And they can keep staying defensive and up in a mental prison because they're so afraid of change, so afraid of moving forward in life differently. And maybe it requires them to be in high vibe Leo energy, more bold, more brave, more confident, more authentic, more loving, you know, mature in some way. And it requires them to step out of their comfort zone. And, you know, when people are ready, they will, and some people won't. And we need to see the truth of that. So we have the Ten of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Judgment card, the Four of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. In our more worldly, immature, rather live more from my mind than my heart, I don't want to get hurt, I could get hurt by love, we can be happy in the Ten of Cups, kind of indulging our more immature nature. And we think, I know, I'm going to just go indulge in these things of the world that I think will make me happy. I don't have to learn to overcome my fears and insecurities and love myself. I think I can just be happy indulging in other things of the world. Maybe I'll go be an immature player. Maybe I'll just go indulge in all these things of the world that I'm sure will make me happy: drugs, alcohol, booze, sex, gambling, getting in a relationship just to feel better. I don't think I have to learn to love myself. And I think learning to love yourself is kind of the hardest lesson to learn. And we might go through a lot of our life, decades of our life, before we kind of finally see the truth. Why am I in a mental prison about loving myself? Why do I get in these relationships, looking for other people to love me and validate my worth and value? And then I think, there's consequences in the judgment card because we have lessons to learn. We kind of reap what we sow, and then we could get in relationships in the Four of Cups with other people who haven't learned to love themselves, and everybody can be defensive and have these fears of love, and it doesn't, or someone wants to be more indulged in a relationship, because if people haven't seen the truth that I need to love myself so I can let other people love me and I don't push them away. Sometimes people can be a very loving person to other people, but for other people to love them, it's like, oh, no, no, I'm not used to that. No, no, people don't love me. I love other people. Well, when are we going to get tired of that pattern of life? When are we going to get to where I do deserve love? And I don't want to keep repeating the cycle, or maybe I love other people who are defensive or fearful or insecure, trying to get them to change. How about I go find people who do love themselves and are loving and giving and warm, and I go be in a relationship with them, and I need to just believe that I treat myself that way, and I believe I deserve to treat myself be in relationships with other people who treat me that way, and it might be out of my comfort zone a little bit, but I'm going to overcome it. you know. But otherwise, we can get in relationships with other people who are defensive to love. We both can be defensive to love. So we've called judgment, like we keep staying here, deciding, no, I'm not going to love myself. I still reject myself. I still don't stand up for myself. I defend being in a mental prison about love, and if I love myself, or if other people could really love me. And then we get in these relationships and they probably don't turn out the way we want, because we're in relationships with other people who haven't learned to love themselves and are defensive and trying to change other people when they don't maybe even have an interest of ever doing love. Loving people can try to change other people, and it's like, oh, if I can get you to change, then that's like a validation of my worth and value, and we'll do love together. But some of the people we get in relationships with, and part of the judgment is we might be drawn and attracted to people that in a lot of ways we can have a lot of things in common and like them and love them, but it's trying to get us to see that until we quit rejecting loving ourselves, this probably isn't going to work out, because we're not the boss. And I think this whole game of life is set up to try to get us to see the truth that love is the answer, and it starts within ourselves. And so we keep repeating this pattern, and we can get in relationships with other people wanting them to get out of their defensive energy, get out of their head, to do love with us. But that might not be what they want to do at all. I don't want to do love. I can get hurt doing love. Or I am more immature, and I am defensive, and I like to live more from my mind than my heart. And I've decided to call judgment on love. I don't want to do that. I had the free will choice to take that cup of love and put an end to my defensiveness and being in a mental prison. I had the free will choice to do that work within myself. I debated within myself throughout my life, and I decided to choose kind of indulging my more immature worldly nature in my Gemini energy, which is their free will choice to do. How long are we going to keep refusing to see the truth? How many times are we going to get backstabbed and betrayed getting in relationships with people who they're not motivated, inspired by love? We could be. We just keep trying to get other people to be loving instead of going and finding the people who are loving. And sometimes we all can be immature. We all can be codependent. We all can want these things of the world. We can all get in these relationships. We're kind of on the same page. But if one person in the relationship during the time of the relationship starts to do some inner work within themselves because they know they're kind of defensive, they know they could have fears about believing they're lovable or why they don't love themselves. They have these issues that they haven't dealt with. And some people, kind of listening to their intuition in the flow of life, can get in relationships with people. And when they're maybe in a supportive and encouraging environment with the Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups, they're kind of inspired to do this work within themselves. You know, I have had some fears and insecurities I've been dragging through with me for the last 5 years, 10 years, whatever. You know, I'm inspired to start working through them. That's like high vibe. Six of Wands is like leaves behind the Five of Wands, which can be the competition, our fears, our insecurities aligning with our more shadowy energy. And we kind of get inspired, like, I'm going to work through those things because I want to dump some of that baggage. Why do I have these fears and insecurities? Why do I have these self-limiting beliefs? Why don't I think I'm good enough? Blah, blah, blah. And if one person does that work in the relationship, but the other person doesn't do that work in the relationship, then we have a problem because we're kind of like, we're no longer on the same page. One person has freed themselves from some of the things that could have manipulated both of them. And what it could have been was just being more defensive to being more authentically yourself, loving yourself, feeling a little more confident in the world, kind of healing in some way, kind of looking at life differently. And then the people that could be in our life could be sad because you're not the same person you were before. You don't look at life the same way they do, and maybe before it was more about being more motivated and inspired by these things of the world, to be in a relationship, to make a family, to make your life about those things. Let's make our life about those things. Let's not, kind of be more authentically ourselves in the world. Let's keep doing this forever. That Bible verse, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Gemini is air sign energy of the mind. Because otherwise, we're just kind of not living our authentic truth. We're making our life more about these things of the world, the stability, the security, the ego, the image, blah, blah, blah. Which is okay if the people that we're in relationship with are willing to move forward with us, to keep growing and maturing and healing themselves to like grow to our full potential, you know? And sometimes we get in relationships with people and then they're sad that we changed because they don't want to do life any differently. And again, the truth sets us free. And partly it could be just even learning to love themselves. They'd have to work through how they kind of make their life and make these things of the world so important to them. Could be how they define their worth and value and just what's really important to them. And it could be that we were hanging out and got in a relationship, maybe we had addictions, maybe, whatever it was that we were kind of making our life about. And then when one person changes, it kind of gets to the point, and it could be that another shadowy way could be that one person could be more inspired by love and is more authentic and giving and nurturing of themselves, but the other person is more defensive and they don't want, you know, I like to keep my emotions buried beneath the surface. I like to live more from my mind than my heart. And then people can kind of feel like, in the Four of Cups, like, I feel like, kind of like I'm being emotionally manipulated in a relationship in a way where, the other person is happy to indulge in the relationship. Fire sign energy can be about sexuality, and we could have all enjoyed the relationship, but I feel like, the relationship doesn't ever become a more authentic, deep, meaningful relationship. It never goes to the next level because the person is unwilling to offer love to it, and free themselves from maybe their fears and their defensiveness to being more authentically themselves and more vulnerable in the relationship. So then people can kind of start to feel like, I kind of feel like, well, why are we in the relationship then? So was it more for the ego and the image and indulging in a relationship, but the relationship was never kind of going to grow and mature itself and become more deep and meaningful? It always like stays stuck at a certain level. And then, that's kind of what worldly shadowy energy is like. It's stagnant, nothing new to learn there. It's not going to grow and mature and heal and like go to the next phase. And that's when we kind of realize some people are really defensive and up in their head about aligning with their more hopeful, believing, loving nature. And then we could start to think, so was it more about the ego and the image and not really love? And so I kind of feel like I'm going to miss out on an opportunity on love if I stay in this relationship, because it's always just going to stay like this. It never is going to be a more deep, meaningful relationship. And then the high vibe people who kind of want a more loving relationship could kind of feel like they want to get out of the relationship. The other people could they might want to stay in it for initially, so long as they can get you to quit moving forward in that way. So then they might do kind of hurtful and unkind things to get you to not love and believe in yourself, and maybe even do, they could be defensive to you, they could be unloving to you, they could do hurtful things to make you not love and believe in yourself so that you won't love and believe in yourself to leave the relationship. To kind of get you up in a mental prison, get you in defensive energy. Why is someone who supposedly loves me acting in these ways? If I can't trust this person who I've maybe been in a relationship with for a long time, well, Jiminy Crickets, I'm scared to go find someone else in the world if someone who's supposed to love me is treating me like this. But that can all be that shadowy Leo energy, trying to manipulate and control people like a strategy. How do I make these people quit loving and believing in themselves to the extent that they want to move, be more authentically themselves, step out of their comfort zone, be more bold and brave and confident? If they do that, they're going to want me to do that. I don't want to do that. How can I stop them? So then they can do these hurtful things, and that's when the loving people in the relationship feel hurt and backstabbed and betrayed. And then they've kind of got to do this work within themselves because they wanted this to work, and they're kind of defensive of leaving. And then and some people right now could be in that process in a relationship like this. It can even be a workplace, These kind of situations happen in all sorts of different relationships, friendships, workplaces, where, you get the job and they tell you, oh, it's going to be great. And oh gosh, everything's wonderful and cheery here. And then as kind of time goes by, you realize that people can be kind of immature or bossy or controlling, haven't learned how to play nicely with others, kind of defensive, and then it's kind of like, well, gee, I really hate to leave this job. And in a job, they might not do all the hurtful and backstabbing things because one day you just might tell them I'm leaving. But in a romantic relationship, there is probably some problems going on and everybody's kind of aware of it. And the high vibe people are hoping that you'll keep, or the low vibe or worldly focused people are hoping you'll keep defending this relationship, even though you have realized that they do take immature action in a relationship. Another thing is some shadowy energy can be people who are more codependent. So there could be people who are codependent on their family or their friend group or the world, and that's kind of where their primary loyalty is, but they want to be in relationships with people. So they decide, oh, look, there's somebody who's sad. Something didn't work out for them. I'll go get in a relationship with them. But you're kind of like the third party to this original foundation that they have loyalty to. They don't ever plan to become more independent of that original group. That is, even if they marry you and have children with you, this other foundation, which also can be their defensive nature, their egoic nature, their self-centered nature, that is their primary loyalty, but it also then can be reflected maybe in their family group or their friend group. And those people kind of take precedent, and they're like a third party in their life and a third party in your relationship. And that's when you kind of realize that you are the third party, that if those people in their life or their fear or their insecurity or their lust or their greed tells them you shouldn't move forward with those people, you get hurt with those people, I don't trust those people, and their own fear and insecurity kind of gets them up in their head, and then other people in their life can get them up in their head in their fear and insecurity. And then, if it comes down to you or their fear or their defensiveness or their immaturity or these other people in their life, well, you have to go. I pick them. I pick my fear. I pick my lust. I pick my greed. I pick myself. It's more about me. If you're not willing to indulge me, even if I am immature, even if I am bossy or controlling or prideful or egotistical or defensive, if you're not willing to indulge me in some kind of shadowy way of being, well, you can go. I'll go find someone else to get in a relationship with. And that's what some people could be finally starting to realize. Some people are still defending a more shadowy relationship. Some people right now are calling judgment on that. Why do I stay somewhere where I feel emotionally manipulated, backstabbed and betrayed, dealing with maybe some people who are more about themselves or ego or image or their addiction or themselves? I want to be with people who've been illuminated to the truth, that there's more to life than just these things or just them. If you want to be in relationships with people, it's about working cooperatively together to bring a common goal in, and it's not more about you and your wants and your needs and your lust and your greed and your pride and your ego. I have my own dreams and aspirations, and that's another thing that some people cannot like. You're supposed to make your life all about me. You're not supposed to have your own things that you want to do in your life. It's supposed to be all about me because I make my life all about me. And that's how I view life. And some people end up seeing the truth of it. I do see you're all about you. Or I do see all these things that manipulate you. Or I do see all these other things in the world and in your life that have control and manipulation over you. You're not independent to move forward with me in a relationship. And though I might be sad, I can't keep staying in this relationship and defending this relationship. If you ever become free of those things that manipulate you, within you and outside of you, and making your ego or your image or indulgence or something so important in your life, I wish you peace and love. I'm moving on. If at some future date you free yourself from those things, let me know and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, I'm going to move forward and stay focused on truth and love. And apparently that's not what you're focused on. And for some people, they have some past pain and heartbreak that they haven't worked through. And so they might be drawn if they're not willing to do the work within themselves to free themselves from it, they're probably going to be drawn and attracted, little do they know, to people in the world who might remind them of people that made them at some point not love and believe in themselves, made them feel backstabbed and betrayed. It's like repeating that pattern over and over, trying to see the truth of it for some. And they could get in a relationship with someone who could remind them of people in their life who they felt didn't love them. And again, it can be someone who, like, other people tried to love them, but they push loving people away because, no, I have these unresolved issues from my life. And they're going to probably try to make those type of people love them. That's in our ego. I want to win. I've known people that are prideful and egotistical. Oh boy, I'm going to try to get you to love me because when I was a child, I could have been in a family with people who were more defensive, didn't really do love. I'm drawn and attracted to people who are like that. And I, in my ego, am trying to get you to validate my worth and value and love me. In the meantime, I'm pushing away loving people because I haven't learned to love myself. And I think the answer is outside of myself to get people who are like that to love me. That will solve the problem. Or if I have enough money or status or image or drink enough or blah, 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 I'm sure that will make me happy. Other people repeated this pattern and they kind of saw the truth of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, they even could have had an epiphany, the judgment. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, I did get in a relationship with someone who I didn't even realize it until now. Does kind of remind me of someone from my past that I felt didn't love me or love me the way I wish they would have loved me in a just and fair and authentic and loving way. And lo and behold, I went and got myself in a relationship with someone who I didn't even realize does remind me of that person. And I was trying to get them to love me. And that's the big aha moment where it's like, nope, not doing that. I see the truth of it. Okay, I got it, God. Okay, yeah, I don't need people who are like that to love me. I don't want to keep chasing after people who have these kind of defensive or whatever ways of being that I don't like in the world. I see the truth. Everybody has their issues that they deal with that they either have worked through to be a more loving, authentic, just and fair person, or they haven't. And I don't need people who haven't freed themselves from those things to make them love me. I wish them peace. They can live their life the way they want. And I have learned I need to love myself so that I don't keep repeating this past pattern, and I'm moving on and I have healed the wound. So again, I didn't get someone who had those certain traits and characteristics to love me because that's not who they are. They're defensive, they're immature, they don't do love, they live more from their mind than their heart. I finally see and I accept it. You are who you are. It doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't have to take it personally. I don't have to feel rejected. That's just who you are. Or if you're bossy or you're controlling or whatever, that's just who you are. It's not a reflection of if I'm lovable or not. And now that I see the truth that it's not because of me, I can only do my part. And I have to take responsibility for my part in the situation. Where did I need to heal and grow and mature myself? How was I maybe bossy or immature or prideful or whatever? I can only take responsibility for me. I am going to stand up to my own more immature nature that sabotages relationships. And I'm going to grow up and mature myself and love myself. High vibe Leo. I'm going to give myself the things I wish other people would have given me. I'm going to be my own best mother, father, coach voice so I get out of this codependent energy. I am no longer looking to other people outside of me to love me, validate my worth and value, blah, blah, blah. Between me and God, I love me and appreciate me, and I'm going to treat other people the way I like to be treated, with love and respect and encouragement. And I'm going to go find the other people in the world who have been enlightened to the truth, that aren't repeating these old patterns, and that will work together with me letting love and intuition being the guiding factor in our life. And I think as you're moving forward in life and you work through your own issues and got to a place of being in your more authentic, loving, hopeful, believing nature, having the tens can talk about having completed a cycle. I learned a lesson about something that could have been buried in my subconscious or something. Past pain and heartbreak, fear, insecurity. I have freed myself from it. Those things no longer manipulate me the way they used to. I'm going to offer love to people in my life to see if they love themselves and are willing to work with me in an authentic, loving way. And the people who do are the people I'm going to move forward with. But I started to say here, our shadowy energy, at the big picture, we look at God as like life-giving energy and the devil as shadowy energy. At the big picture, in a world of duality, life force energy trying to create new things and give birth to new things exists, and shadowy energy that tries to stop, like death energy, stop from new things from being given birth to in the world. We have to overcome it in ourself. When we overcome it within ourself from love, that's when we kind of no longer want to maybe be in certain friendships, relationships, and jobs anymore because it's not our truth anymore. But in high vibe energy of the Page of Cups, we wish people peace and love because we've been there. We know how hard the struggle is to free yourself from those things that manipulate you. And it's kind of a little hell. We've all driven our life off into the ditch. We've all not loved ourselves. We've all belittled and berated ourselves. We know how hard it is to free yourself from some of those things. So we wish them peace and love and we move forward in life. And there's probably going to always be within yourself and people in the world that would try to stop you from moving forward in this way. But if you keep overcoming that, you will meet the people who are more on the same page as you. It's kind of like if I keep taking steps every day going south, I might take 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward. We don't belittle and berate ourselves. We encourage and love ourselves. And eventually we're going to end up further steps south. And we're going to meet other people who have went further steps south versus people just like we at one time kind of gave up and weren't ready to move forward and are still repeating an old pattern. So there is some people that could also be going through this process with you. You could know some people who moved ahead of you. You could be communicating with those people. Some of those people could be wishing you peace and love and joy, but I've moved on. But they're happy that you freed yourself. Just like as you're moving forward, other people might come towards you and you're like, I'm happy you freed yourself from those things, but I've moved forward, in life. Life's about learning these lessons. Some people are 5 steps ahead, 5 books ahead, 5 libraries ahead of knowledge and information from us. And we could be 1, 2, 3 pages, books, and libraries of learning lessons from other people. We don't learn lessons overnight. It can take months, years, decades to learn certain lessons. And that's why we really should be more in relationships with people who are more on the same page as us. Because again, we can offer people love and encouragement and resources, but am I going to get myself tangled up in a relationship with you when I can see that you're immature, you're bossy, you're prideful, you're defensive, you're self-centered, you're, whatever. I want my dreams to come into reality and enjoy my life. I don't want to be in relationships with people who aren't being truthful and honest and just and fair and emotionally mature. That's just going to cause me a lot of stress and anxiety and fears and insecurities. And, I'd rather just go enjoy my life while you work on your issues. And if you ever work through them, let me know. If you don't, then you're going to keep living your life like that. And some of the people that, when people learn some lessons in life and they want to move forward in life differently, some people won't do that work within themselves. They could be sad that it didn't work out, but they're unwilling to put an end to their defensiveness and being up in their head about love. So they keep repeating this pattern and until they want to deal with the truth of the situation, see the truth about themselves, how they contribute to things not moving forward in a more loving, just, fair, balanced, authentic way, see the truth about the type of people they keep pursuing, and until they see the truth of it, they're going to keep doing it. So, what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Leo energy that they might not see coming up? The Four of Swords, the Truth, and the Six of Swords. And the reason that came out is because of the Queen of Wands. So, I view the Queen of Wands as Leo energy. The Four of Swords talks about taking this time to heal. Because sometimes we didn't quite realize how defensive or egotistical or immature some people were. And if they define their worth and value in their Leo energy about their ego and their image, but yet they're kind of immature or bossy or controlling or whatever, when we decide to leave that relationship, those people might do everything they can to backstab and betray you so that people don't view you as a high vibe person because they want them to view them as the high vibe person. I don't want people to know I was in that shadowy energy. I don't want people to know I'm defensive to love. I don't want people to know I'm codependent on the world or ego or image or other people in my life, that I let these things manipulate me and I wasn't willing to move forward in like truth and love. So some people can backstab and betray you. And it's all can be because they're all, the devil is about themselves. It's all about me and my ego and my image or my immature nature. If you're not going to indulge me in my immature nature, I'm going to backstab you. And I will try with however it is that I backstab you to try to stop other people from working together with you and moving forward with you in a relationship. That's to tell lies or whatever, they'll do it. So the Four of Swords, you take this time to heal, to get over your illusions that you had about people, and then you come out with the truth of the Ace of Swords. That some people aren't who you thought they were, or they were at one point, but then they got caught up. There's no guarantee when people are going to get caught up in their fears or their insecurities or addictions or whatever. But the whole thing is God kind of knows. So if God knows people aren't on the same page as you, and God knows what you want to manifest, God knows what drives and motivates them, God tries to show us the truth. We can keep defending it for a long time, over and over and over. It'll keep happening until it's like, okay, God, fine. I will get out of this relationship or living my life this way. This is not working. All right, I will face my fears and I will move forward and I will heal. And in truth, I will move forward to bring my dreams into reality in the Six of Swords. And I will offer love and truth and inspiration to people in my life to move forward with me in this energy. Some people still have healing to do. I see the truth of it. I wish them peace and I move on. Other people are willing to do the work within themselves to heal and to also look at life from a higher perspective, put life in perspective. And they're on the same page, and those are the people I'm going to move forward with. Moving forward with other people who harness high vibe Leo energy versus a more worldly or shadowy Leo energy. What's coming up for some people who harness some more worldly, shadowy Leo energy that they might not see coming up? The King of Wands and the Chariot. Why? Because of the Two of Pentacles. When people are being immature, defensive, doing kind of hurtful, unkind things, or just trying to shadowy Leo can just be trying to manipulate and control people and using your emotions manipulatively, your sexuality, just all your resources, kind of in a more shadowy way. Eventually, other people in their life, high vibe people, are inspired to get in the driver's seat of their own life. and to pick up their investment in these people. And the Two of Pentacles can be, I'm picking up my investment in you and I'm going to maintain balance within myself. The Chariot can talk about maintaining balance within yourself. If there are people that were in high vibe Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn energy, trying to inspire other people in their life to get in the driver's seat of their life, to love themselves, to quit investing in these more immature or shadowy ways of being, and they were never eventually willing to do it, they finally see the truth. And I'm going to move forward loving myself, getting in the driver's seat of my own life, getting balance within myself. And I'm going to do this work within myself to go find the people who are more on this same energy. Because you harness this energy in a more shadowy way. Shadowy Aries, shadowy Cancer, shadowy Capricorn can be people, again, who are kind of trying to control things. Maybe more motivated by ego and image and status, or, wanting to use their emotions, their sexuality, their money, their looks, all these things to try to manipulate people, to get people to keep moving forward with them in a relationship, even though these people keep juggling really authentically investing in love. Like the shadowy Two of Pentacles can be like, I'm two-faced. I present myself as harnessing high vibe Leo. Yep, I'm going to bring that dream into reality. But really, that's not the truth of who I am. I'm really kind of indulging in a relationship. I really haven't learned to love myself. I'm actually defensive. I'm kind of immature. I kind of do some things that are kind of hurtful and unkind and backstab a relationship, but I don't want to see the truth of it. So let's just stay in denial that I have a shadowy energy. I do. You should stay in denial that I have a shadowy energy, and you should just try to balance out things with me and keep moving forward with me, because by worldly standards it might look good. And we're all afraid of leaving to go get a new relationship. And some people said, I'm done. I have done everything I can. And now I see I'm finally done. And instead of defending this relationship out of some of my own fears and insecurities, now I'm defending myself from this relationship because I'm focused on love. And apparently you're not. So I'm going to go face my fears of being in relationships with people who I think are more on the same page as me. And some of the shadowy people did not see that coming. Another thing they might not see coming, there's going to be other people who want to be in a relationship with them. And if they're another loving person, hopeful, believing person, eventually this whole scenario will play out again. As long as this person keeps not willing to get out of their defensiveness or immaturity and grow up or learn to love themselves. And eventually they might end up in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. Someone else who is more maybe about themselves, not so much about love, also is defensive, also might not want to realize they have some issues they should deal with. But if they're both willing to stay in the relationship, and by worldly standards it looks good, even though they both might not be in it for love, even though they both might feel like they kind of backstabbed and betrayed themselves, if by worldly standards it looks good and that's the most important thing to them, or they think the person they're in a relationship with isn't ever going to leave either, perfect. Let's move forward in a relationship. And we'll keep defending this relationship because we both have fear about love, and we'll keep moving forward in it, and we'll kind of indulge our more immature nature in whatever we indulge ourselves. If it's ego and image, if it's anything else, we'll do that, and we'll all kind of use our emotions manipulatively in the relationship because we really don't want to do love. And they might be sad and kind of want to end it. But if they're too much in their ego and it has those things of the world that they want, or if the most important thing is to not have someone who's going to be more bold and brave and confident, and neither one of them are, well, you're not going anywhere, right? Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere either. You're not ever going to be more authentically yourself and bold and brave and confident, are you? You're going to make your life about these things that we indulge ourselves in or make important in our life? Yes? Okay, perfect. And it's kind of knowing that they stay in it more out of defensiveness and fear and codependency and immaturity or ego or addictions. And other people want to have the life of their dreams, being more bold and brave and confident to not let the devil, the world, their own shadowy, immature nature, codependent nature, keep them from living the life of their dreams. And those people are going to manifest that. And the other people is kind of caught up in the illusion of the world. So there you go, Leo energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.